Hi guys, I'm Beth, this is Remark, and we are going to talk about The New Me by Halle Butler. The New Me by Halle Butler is not that long of a book. It's pretty short. I did the audiobook read by the author, and it only took about 4 hours to get through it. It's a book about a woman named Millie. Millie is 30 years old, and she works in a series of temp jobs. She's never held down a real quote-unquote job. She just kind of goes from temp job to temp job, and her parents subsidize her life from there. I'm going to try and keep the jealousy out of my voice for that fact that she had everything pretty much paid for. So she works this temp job that she seems to have a ton of disdain for. In fact, pretty much everyone there seems to have disdain for one another. We see these glimpses of the boss who has, she just looks down her nose on Millie about every single thing and finds ways and reasons to fire her. Millie, meanwhile, talks about how soul-sucking the job is and how much she hates it. She's kind of the classic narcissist. She thinks very highly of herself. She has disdain for others. She thinks that she's entitled to this job, to which she's given no real effort. At the same time, she fears the job is sucking her soul dry and that it is not worthy of her time and efforts. So we see that it's almost like Millie is just spending time. It's like a meaningless existence where she's just waiting for time to run out, for her life to end, like she's just a placeholder in this universe we call Earth. So we learn about midway through that a big part of the problem is her parents. We see flashbacks to where she had the weepies in high school and her mom would type up her papers for her while she laid down on the couch with a box of Kleenex. Or there's one remembrance where Millie says, "Remember when that coach disrespected me and I told him off?" And the mom says, "Yes, that was one of the proudest moments of my parenthood." It's almost like she's learned this entitlement. It's almost like the parents have just bestowed it upon her and that's what she's supposed to be. But it seems like everyone in her orbit, in the workspace, with her friends, it seems like everyone is of the same mind, all of her peers. Now here's the thing I really want to talk about with you guys, and that is the review by Gia Tolentino of The New Yorker. She said, "It is," and I quote, "a definitive work of millennial literature, wretchedly riveting." Now that's the part that really got me interested, because are we talking generational stuff here? Because that opens up a whole new question, a whole new box of possibilities here. So it made me wonder, is this simply a wretchedly riveting character study of Millie? Or is it supposed to be a portrait that identifies and illustrates an entire generation of people? Millie, make no mistake about it, she has no redeeming qualities, none. She is self-centered. She has open disdain for most people around her. She has all sorts of ideologies about the new me, about all these changes that she's going to make, and then does absolutely nothing to make them happen. Like, when I get this job, I'm going to wear smart outfits and shower on the daily and have a clean apartment, and the new me is going to do yoga every day and exercise and have a good relationship in which I'm not screaming hysterically at my boyfriend. She has all these pictures of what the new her is going to be, but really doesn't do anything to make that happen. And it made me think a lot about one of my favorite books, Eat Only When You're Hungry by Lindsay Hunter, which also is a character study of a guy who just is on the downward spiral, and there's nothing really redeemable about him. And the more we learn about him and his son, the more bleak it looks. Likewise with Millie. So what I did is, because I personally am kind of on the cusp between X and millennials, I think I'm what they call the lost generation. I didn't know if this really was a fair shot to them, because I have a team full of millennials and even a Gen Z person, and they're all delightful. They work so hard. They don't act entitled to anything. They get along really well. They have open respect for one another. They just give me nothing but hope and pride every time I look at them. So I at first glance would say, no way. no way does this exemplify a millennial experience. So I had my coworker who's extremely literary. I had her read it also because she is, I believe, 32 or 33. She's a classic millennial age. And ask her, is this what millennials are supposed to be like? And she hated the book. She texted me halfway through saying, what in the world did you just make me read? She hated the character. I think it's that the character of Millie was so abhorrent. So, in her opinion, yes and no. Yes, it does somewhat speak to the experience of some millennials because some are like that, but not all of them. Others are not. You know, it's kind of like, is this something that exemplifies a generation, or is it just a simple character trait that really exemplifies this one person in this one book that we're reading? You know, I don't want to subscribe to all the stereotypes of different generations being better or worse or good or bad. I think we all have things that we can offer one another. So, to speak about the millennial experience, I'm still unsure on that one. I don't know if it's supposed to speak to a stereotypical millennial experience. I'd like to be more optimistic and think that they're not like that. So, The New Me by Halle Butler. Give it a read. Let me know what you think. Super interesting book. Thanks for watching as always. Bye.